emulators which are coming, which are going to be shipped along with the SDK. You just need to do one right click and say run as, and off it goes, and the application gets downloaded on the emulator, then it executes as well. Okay, so I have given the steps. You want, you can have a look at that. It's very simple. I'll go to the next one. There is one more tool which is there, that's a emulator control panel. So normally what kind of problems developer will face? Let's say we are going to give some emulator, and there is going to be some kind of a hardware feature which cannot be tested on the emulator. For example, you are inserting the earphones, then pulling it out, those kind of things, it's very difficult in emulator. So to simulate those kind of events, SD card is like inserted then removed. This tool would be really useful. So emulator control, using this one, you can emulate all those kind of events. So you can actually use this for testing in your emulator. Okay. Then this is going to be a very new addition in 2.4 SDK. Previously TV SDK was a separate one. From 2.4 onwards, mobile, wearable and TV, all these three profiles are going to be merged into one single SDK. Okay. You do not have to install multiple SDKs and juggle around. So TV profile support is a major feature for 2.4 SDK. So TV apps, as you know, let's say you are going to develop for a huge big screen size, 15, 16 inch. It's a bigger screen size. Do you really want that kind of thing to lie on your table and write your application and debug? Maybe that's not the best way. Instead, what you can do, you can utilize the emulators that are going to be shipped. Easily you can do it on your desktop. It will scale out, scale in, all those things, it will do it for you. Then remote controller emulation is also supported. So you want to try out anything related to remote control, you can do that. Then all this virtual machine, what comes with it for the emulator, the underlying virtual machine is the QEMU. So what you can do in that QEMU, you can configure all these things. For example, how much of RAM you want to give and what kind of network settings, all those things are configurable. So in case you wanted to simulate a low memory situation, that is also possible. There are some other additions we have done for the emulator, which is going to improve the performance of emulator on your host PC. If you have more cores, let's say Intel multi-core, then your emulator is going to be faster than before. Similarly, direct rendering with GPU, graphics processing unit, is going to be there. So this is going to relieve the stress of the GPU and it's CPU, and it's going to push the task to GPU and it's going to be light on the CPU. So that is what I have put in the slides. Maybe you can have a look at the picture. Okay. So we are now done with testing the application, debugging, everything is done. What's the last step? We are going to upload the application to Tizen store. And again, uploading to Tizen store, the develop session, I would encourage people to participate and understand the whole process. It's very easy. Those people have very good knowledge in this one. They'll help you out. Okay. There are some add-on SDKs for Tizen SDK. So what specifically we mean by add-on SDK? There are certain portions which third party some external companies or third parties can write and you can attach it to your main SDK. Okay. Then this app, for example, this app certification extension is there. You can download that from developer.samsung.com, and using that you can really test your applications on the device itself. You don't have to try it out only on the emulator. There is a way to try out your application on the device as well. Then some other additional add-on SDKs are there. For example, map service. Then code maze is there. That is some kind of an code obfuscation tool. So that will prevent people from reverse engineering what is there in your code in JavaScript. Okay, I'll go to the next one. For Samsung devices, this is for testing things out on the real Samsung device. We used to have something like this before, where you will have to request something, you will have to generate some data in the SDK, then you will have to go to a web browser, then you will get a mail, and a combination of all the results what you get, you will have to combine together to really try out your apps on the device. But this is not necessary anymore. It will be changed to this way. You can do everything using only SDK. So SDK is going to be one single interface for you. You only need to understand this facility, and everything you can get it done with SDK. But anyway, it won't be available immediately. Only by the end of 2015 it would be there. This is one new addition, the new application models which are going to come in basically app types. Input method editor IME is going to be there. You can write that IME app yourself, and if at all that kind of IME app is there, you can go to the settings and select what kind of IME is required for that device. Then native widgets can be displayed on the home screen itself. So this is one new addition. Then there is going to be one new package type called a TEP, Tizen expansion package. Let us say I am going to have one application which is worth maybe 10 MB, but I am going to have huge resources which are worth 1 GB. So every time, let us say this kind of facility is not there, I am going to combine my application code as well as resources, bundle them together as single package. That size is obviously going to be big, 1 GB. So let us say I make one single line of change in my C code or maybe JavaScript code, and every day I will have to upload 1 GB or maybe a little more to Tizen store. So that is not efficient. Let us say, but this works only if you do not modify your resource files or that heavy component. So what you need to do, you need to separate out that application code what you have and resource code what you have, I mean resources basically. So resources which you do not change frequently, you just upload that, keep it. Frequently change things, you only have the minimal package, those ones you can upload to the store, and you can always upgrade that. This is going to be much more efficient. Okay. Then resource management, you can specify resource types for various types of screens. You can say small, large, so all those things. This is like standard pattern what people follow. Okay, so I have introduced most of the facilities, maybe a little bit higher on the native app development side, and these are all the facilities which I have introduced. The first thing what you can see is the installers, some modifications have been done, then profile merge have been done, then storyboard feature is there, then UI builder is there, then SDK for for doing the signing, then documentation improvements, online samples, T-trace tools. So these are going to be the new ones. I hope everyone is going to be familiar with the new facilities which are going to come out in 2.4 SDK, and the timelines, everything should be clear as well, I think. The way I want people to remember 2.4 SDK is very simple. 2.4 is more of ease of use, multiple profile integration, just two important points you will have to think. Okay. Now I will show some videos, you can see that one. Can I have the video? Okay, here we are trying to create a new application. So there is a new project wizard which he has opened. So he is entering the project name. Okay, it's a very simple step. You can see the UI builder is currently in focus. So a couple of views, new views have been added. So this is the storyboard view. Now he is drag and drop the views into the storyboard. So that's why you're seeing multiple views in like one screen. So if you see multiple views in one screen, that means that you're in storyboard perspective. So right now he's arranging the views so that it's convenient for him to draw the arrows and say what is going to be the view transitions. So, he is going to drag drop this Navi frame that is required. Some additional details are there. Maybe I will make it very simple right now. This is the manifest editor. You can rename what is your application's name. Maybe you can select a different icon also for your application. What is going to be your icon? We just modify the Tizen icon to a different color and we add it. You can basically add your author name or your company name. An email you can add, and website if any. Okay, we are back to the UI builder right now. So again, he is doing some editing. I think now he is entering that Navi frame. So various elements he is dragging, dropping into the new views. It's very easy. That's exactly the point of this video. You will only have to drag, drop, and you can keep going. So some buttons he has dragged now. So he is changing the attributes of the button. You can see this is the properties editor he is editing right now. That palette box is like quite useful. Lot of elements, whatever you want, is already pre-built. Inbuilt samples and templates are available. This whole video probably lasts for like 5 minutes, which exactly means such an application could be created in 5 minutes if you only learn it once. So this is some color picker or something like that. It's adding the image. Okay, in little more time he is going to switch to the storyboard and he is going to start drawing those connections. That is the most interesting part. Now he has started drawing the connections. On clicked event, he is drawing that arrow and saying, once you create one particular trigger event, it switches back to that source code perspective. So it shows what is that code it has generated. If you want, you can edit that. So now it has created all those arrows. Now this is the emulator, by the way, mobile emulator. So he's going to push this app into the emulator and run it. You can see some logs are being printed below it saying it's pushing the app to the emulator, and those things are there. App is appearing there as well. Okay, now this is the first screen. He is clicking on that. He went to the next screen. Some changes he is just doing. All these things you can write proper logic for it later. Color picker, date. This image also you can click. So he is transitioning to other screen. Literally no code has been written to get all these things done. So just by creating things in the UI, he has done all these things. Second video, can I have? Second video, this one we are showing the templates. These templates are already embedded into your SDK. The moment you install the SDK, with your basic types what you are expecting, you will get this template. You can see all the applications are already there. You can copy paste the code, you are free to use relevant code in your application. It is meant for copy pasting and you do not have to learn anything new. So, we are just trying to show what are the kind of apps which are there. It shows a quick preview of what those applications are there, then what different kinds of applications are there. Some hybrid apps also, some samples are present, you can see there. So, this is a file manager application I think he is trying to show. So, now this is an online samples which is showing that one categories are mentioned. If you see here, I think this particular thing, these are the profiles which you really want to select. So, there is a mobile, wearable and TV profile. You can select, apply the relevant filter and select what kind of online applications. This you can always update. Let us say some new updates are present in the online server, you can pull it to your SDK and you can start using them. Okay, again he will do one quick demo of this particular application. Now he has selected the online application and he will create one very small simple application, but we will not do it in a very elaborate manner, just a quick preview. So, app was created, so he has to kill the old app. So, the new app is just starting. So, you want to try out anything, it is very easy. Select the relevant online sample app or the template sample app, just compile that and push it to the emulator, you will be able to quickly see. You can inspect the code for each functionality, how they would have done the sample application is, for each functionality they will try to explain those APIs. So, some particular functionality you do not understand, you can just grep for that and you can find out how it has been used in some sample application. Quickly you can start, you can do a jump start into writing your applications. So, these are going to be the new facilities which are out there with the new SDK. I think that is pretty much all I have. Please feel free to try out the beta versions as well, and if you have any comments, any feedback, you can send it to us. Yeah, thanks. QA is there, or questions? They can ask questions. Okay, anyone has got questions?
Yes. If anyone has any question, they can ask.
Hello. Yeah. I have 2-3 questions for you actually. If any of the APIs are not working or malfunctioning or returning zeros or something like that, so is there any facility to report it?
Yes, there are some ways of doing it. I will give my contact. In previous cases also some people have told that the API is not working as expected as or as per the documentation. Those cases we have specifically helped them out, we have given them some solution. And there are ways of filing bug reports also. I forgot to add in this one, but I can specifically tell you the steps, I can send it to your email.
Okay, sir. One more thing. There was something for partner and platform privileges. Like privileges are there, but we require some another security keys for that. So how to get them?
Platform?
Partner and platform privileges.
Okay, that could. Uh, Right, that is some add-on SDK, some partner SDK could be there. I think if you install those.
No, sir. My question is like, there is one privileges there, like
yes,
which can generate the events. So for that we need a platform privilege, platform key. So how to get those?
Usually the CAP APIs, that is C APIs, which are exposed as public APIs, permissions are there. But these ones, there are some special SDKs you will have to install for getting those permissions. I mean, it is not open. So if you, it depends on whether you are a third party developer or a second party developer. So to second party developer, there are some add-on SDKs which they will have to install to get that facility. You cannot do it using a normal SDK.
Is there any SDK or something of that sort through which we can develop, which we can enhance the Tizen platform itself?
Platform, right now this is meant only for apps. It could come out in the future, I am not sure right now.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah, hi, this is Shiva from Akamai Technologies. So, so I'll give a use case where we had trouble. So we have built an application and it was working fine on our devices and emulator. Now we had to share this application with another person who is in a different country. Right now, to install an application. He's a business guy. To install an application, we need a device ID, and he cannot get a device ID because he needs to install a SDK which he does not know. Okay. Is there a, is there any easier way of doing this, or this is a big pain point.
Yeah, I understand. What you can do, see, you can take his device ID, you can sign it for him and give it to him. That is one way. The reason why it is not easy, in case you are an app developer and your app gets leaked somehow, right? Nobody will be able to put it on their device unless you specifically sign it for their device ID. So it's a kind of protection which is given for the app developers themselves. Okay. So it's always convenience versus security. So okay. That is why it's not a very easy thing.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Any more questions? Yes.
The drag and drop GUI builder, it is available for the Windows based SDK. Like here in the video, it was Ubuntu, like Linux.
Right. It will be available for Ubuntu, Linux, Windows, and Mac OS.
Okay, fine.
Is that a known issue? Or?
Maybe some firewall, some proxy settings.
There were a lot of instructions given, but they were quite difficult to follow actually.
It could be specific to your setup also. We are not, usually it works. I'm not sure in which situation it failed to work. Maybe it could be a matter of a firewall which is blocking it, or you'll have to go through a proxy, and maybe if you correct those issues, it would be gone.
Do you have provided any view debugging tools? View debugging like hierarchy viewer in Android.
Okay.
That was very useful. Like as an application developer, like we normally go to like developing an app, the views will be misaligned or something. So using hierarchy viewer in Android, it was easy.
Okay. Right now, that kind of a tool is not there.
No, that will be very useful for the application developer.
Okay. We'll definitely consider that. The model what we usually follow is if there is going to be a voice of customer, or in the sense developers are going to send us feedback, definitely we'll consider, especially if they say that by adding this kind of a functionality, it's going to improve productivity. Definitely we will do that. You can definitely give us feedback, or you can post to us. We'll consider that.
Hi. CLI is supported for Mac.
CLI?
Yeah. Actually, we have been having a lot of trouble with CLI for both Mac and Windows. Like we have not been able to get it working.
We can help you out on that. Which version? 2.3 probably?
Yes, Rev 3, 2.3 Rev.
We can help you out on that. If you can tell us what specific issues you are getting, maybe some logs and things like that, what is happening.
Okay.
We'll help you.
Okay, and one more thing is like if we don't have APIs that we would require, so like whom to contact or like how to go about that?
Yeah, I'll have to put that information. There is a specific place to report these issues. I'll give you my email ID.
Okay.
After the session, I'll specifically give you my email ID. You send a mail to me, I'll get back on that.
Sure. Thank you.
Actually, we are working on a Tizen TV application, and in that application, we just need to open an inbuilt TV's inbuilt browser. But Tizen guy says that you can't open TV's inbuilt browser from your application. It is banned or anything else? Is there?
TV is it?
Yeah.
TV, it could be a separate.
TV SDK.
You are using a separate SDK, right?
Yes, yes. We are using separate SDK.
Okay, I am not so much sure about that separate SDK part. This is I only know about this integrated part, which is like going to come.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hi, I was building a hybrid application, so wherein I had to launch a service application from a web application. It was working for the debug mode, but not for release mode.
Okay.
And there were discrepancies between the emulator. How the emulator behaved was different from how the device behaved.
There were some issues with the hybrid application in 2.3. It's a known issue. We know the fixes, what fixes there. There was some problem related to app IDs. You'll have to do some juggle around and you'll have to change those app IDs.
Yeah, so it was working fine for the debug mode, but for the release mode, it was giving an error that app ID is not correct. So it shouldn't have worked for debug mode either if that was the case, if app ID was wrong. So some problem with hybrid application basically. So I had posted this on Tizen forum as well, but I didn't get a reply back on the query.
Okay, I can do one thing. You send specifically what issues you are facing.
Yeah.
We'll get back. I mean, previous instances we have helped people when they reported this kind of an issue. Specifically hybrid app, we have helped people.
Okay.
So I'll give my email ID. You can take it. I will
Yeah,
help you out on that.
Okay, thank you.
One more.
In Tizen 2.4, will we have like more device management APIs exposed? Let's say setting the passcode or something using APIs.
2.4, I'll have to check out some documentation. I'm not very sure right now. I mean, can I check back, check later and get back?
Okay, fine.
So anyway, it's time. Sorry.